Hey, Marc Warnke, the goat guy. I wanted to do a winter herd update because we're always kind of taking out goats, adding goats, and having results with goats that we didn't expect and stuff like that. So I didn't want to skip this. So this is going to be kind of one of those longer videos that we're going to break up in segments, and so we might as well start with Preacher here. Preacher here is developing exactly like I thought he would. This is the son of Dingle. He was a breeding buck. He's got babies. In fact, this is Preacher's baby right here, which is Prophet. So we got kind of the Dingle, Preacher, Prophet scenario going. Prophet is looking great, just like his dad and his dad before him. So we got our 3 holdovers from last year, which are Prophet. This is Scout, who's a La Mancha Alpine Cross, who is out of Blade, who is my big La Mancha, crossed in with, I can't remember who his mom is. Is it Glitter? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. You're right. It's Glitter, one of my favorite, most well-bred does I really, really like. So these guys are both turning out amazing. And then we got Wolf, who is girlfriend's son, and Wolf is this really kind cutie who doesn't seem like the smartest tool in the shed, but he's developing really beautifully. Come here, Wolfer. Come here, Wolf. Come here, you. But anyway, so this guy's a multi-hybrid as well. He's got the little elf ears. Come here, Wolf. Come here. Come here. Oh, I got a bicep injury right now. So this is Wolf. So these are the 3 yearlings. These guys are going to go, they're on at 1.5 years, and they're all in that 150-ish pound range. They're all really similarly built. And these are my 3 little holdovers, Macho, Potter, and Macho, Potter, and, well, that's Potter, that's Macho, and that's Prophet. Now, Potter is actually out of really, really big breeding. He is just not looking very big right now, but he's like 2.5 months younger than these guys. So I think I keep kind of going, I don't know how good he's going to be because he looks kind of little and he's actually not built super awesome. But we'll see. You know, I mean, I've learned a long time ago not to judge too early. Now, these 2 I'm feeling really confident about how they're built. This is a La Mancha Oberhasli cross, actually, and then he's pure Alpine. So these guys are all looking really cool. We'll see the verdict out on him. He's my first sable I'm holding back, and I really love how all these sables develop, and they're beautiful and they're big, and they finish out over 200 pounds. And we'll see how he ends up developing as a final and all that fun stuff. So let's go over to the does. So the does are where we added a fair amount this year. And the reason we added a lot of does this year is because so many people this year were struggling to feed their goats. And so people called me and said, you know, hey, we have this great doe. And so I would test her, and if she fit in, then we added her. So we added in a fair amount. Now we do have a breeding buck in the pen right now. Now, if you guys recognize my pen configuration, the does used to be there. So we put the juveniles over there because it was the only single shelter enclosure. This is a double shelter enclosure, and because we've added more does, now we increase the size of our doe pen. So our doe pen, they have a lot more room in here now. And then the wethers, we put them on the far side, and we'll go through that pen. Now here's Harry. Harry's one of my favorites, and by the way, she didn't test pregnant, and she hasn't come into heat that I've noticed. So I'm a little worried that for some reason she didn't cycle this year, and I've never seen that happen before. It's a first for me. I've read about it, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it before. This is the other buckling that we held back that's one of my favorite, and he's actually still intact. This is Riot, and Riot is a pure Alpine, and he is just gorgeous, and he's super kind. He's like this all the time. He's such a nice little buckling, but he's still so ruddy and stinky. You know how I mentioned earlier that we tested everybody on the blood. You can see I had to shave a lot of these guys because their coats were so thick that I couldn't find the vein without shaving them. That was a first for me. This is Pixie and Ember. they're my two doelings from this last year, and they're really, really cool, and I'm super digging on them. We waited till super late to breed them, and I believe we got Ember bred, and I'm pretty sure we got Pixie, and these guys are both, they look little, but they're both 80 pounds. 70 pounds is generally the minimum. So these are our first year doelings, but we waited really late to breed them, and we let them get large enough. This is also a new doeling to us, and I can't remember what we named her. Iris. So this is Iris. Now here's an example, by the way, of a dam raised. So this is a dam raised doeling. That's her mother right there. And we named her Bessie because she kind of looks like a cow. Those guys, that's her mother, and she's also dam raised, and literally we work really hard just to catch her. Her baby is, we've earned her some closeness with her with treats and that sort of thing, but again, I can't say enough how a disservice it is to have dam raised babies and how much more difficult they can be for the other owners and stuff like that. It's consistently a problem. I have some dam raised that are super close, but man, majority of the time they become quite difficult. Here's Big Bella. She's pregnant as heck. You know, she's who Bella is, and you know, this is one of Noah's daughters. Girlfriend, also another one of Noah's daughters. Two of the older genetics that I've kind of gone away from, but these guys throw nice kids if I breed them with the right bucklings, that I keep them in the breeding pool. This is little Patty. This is Wolf's sister, and she has just gotten huge this year, so we're really excited about her. Her dad is Blade, who is my slick genetic La Mancha, so she's a La Mancha. So she's a slick genetic all black La Mancha bred with Girlfriend, and it made Wolf and Patty. And Patty, we named her because she was born on St. Patty's Day, and this is the first goat that Trisha has ever pulled out, gone in and pulled out. So she's really sweet. Again, not the sharpest tool in the shed, but Patty's really nice. She had a baby last year, and it was beautiful. She did just have one male, which is the real risk on breeding a young doeling, is that you'll have one boy and it becomes out so big that they have difficulty. That's Harry over there getting some mineral, and this is Cello. And Cello is a really sweet goat. She came to us from a good friend who actually moved to Hawaii. Cello is pregnant. All these guys are pregnant except for just a couple, so I won't mention that on every one. But Cello comes out of a local herd originally. They bought her as a young adult, bred her, and she produced some really good babies last year, and she's a big alpine doe. This is Raven, another one of our dam raised little doelings that was one of my buddy's little problem childs. She's almost uncatchable as well, but she does really nice on the milk stand. When she knows there's grain at the other end, she'll come, but to be able to walk up to her and touch her, I can't. This is Daisy. She's a new one. She looks almost exactly like Cinder, so it's easy to mistake her and Cinder for each other. And Daisy is a 2-year-old, and she came to us out of some people who got into goats, bought her from us. I mean, look at her. She's a 2-year-old doe. She is just magnificent. And they bought her from us, and they just decided goats weren't working for them, and so they let her have her. They let her come to our place, and we're really glad to take her because she's just a beautiful, beautiful doe. So we're really excited about the babies out of her. How are you, sweetness? Oh, you're gonna let me pet you. Oh, for a second. And then this goat right here is Rosalie. Come here, sweetie. And this is the goat that we almost lost last year. And this is also the goat that broke her leg. And so the long story on this one, this is the first leg on a goat that I ever fixed. Come here, sweetie. Come here. And she's super duper duper sweet. But after she broke her leg and after she came here, she just got so run down by pregnancy and having her baby and having nursing. This is Prophet's mom. So this is the dole, or the buckling that I showed you over there. This is Prophet's mom, and she throws beautiful babies. But literally, they depleted her so much. She did a same thing that Cinder did a few years ago. She lost all her hair. You could just pull her hair out. She was skin and bone. She looked awful. So we floated her teeth, and then we gave her enough multi-min shots to get her mineral back up, and she bounced right back. I had to do that with 2 does now. So we're really glad and proud that we brought her back from the brink of looking really, really poor with just kind of throwing the kitchen sink at her, and it worked. So the last couple are hanging out over here. And this is Cinder. Hi, Cinder. And Cinder's showing pregnant this year, so we're super excited about that. She didn't have babies last year. So Cinder's our herd boss. She's our herd queen. There's Patty, who we already talked about, and then there's Penny. And Penny, we lovingly call her the devil, because she's one of our only goats on the ranch that likes to hook you. And we actually have to warn people about her. She gets all postured up and she hooks people, and she's not a super nice goat to be around. She's very pushy, but she's a super great Oberhasli doe. If you look at her in terms of her body build, how tall she is, she throws some really magnificent babies. And I'm not concerned. I actually agree that if you have aggressive genetics out of a goat, they're going to throw aggressive babies. But I don't agree with that in this context, because I know the people who raised her as a baby. I was around them, and the main boy in their family that took care of those babies, literally the whole time he was interacting with those babies, he was pushing on their heads, and he was literally teaching them to butt human beings, and that was how human beings interacted with them. So no wonder she's aggressive in that way. She was taught to do that. So that's the does and the bucklings. We're now going to go talk about the wethers, and we'll break it right now because I got to climb a couple of fences or go around to get that way. So anyway, hope you find that helpful. Marc Warnke, the Goat Guy, signing out.